Hello, everyone. Very warm welcome once again to StudyIQ English, your favorite channel. And I am your educator, Praveen Mishra, going to discuss about the state of Jammu and Kashmir and the police of the state, that is JKP in short, that is Jammu and Kashmir Police. How do you feel, basically, if you are the person who is in a party and with all the attraction, you become the center of attraction of the people? Whether you are in your school, in your college, or whatsoever, you become the point of discussion. Everywhere you go, people are murmuring or discussing something that is based on you. Obviously, it will be a matter of prestige. But what if we talk about with regard to or in context of the Indian federalism? The same such a state, that is Kashmir, it has always been the talk of the town. But the point is here, it's not a matter of pride for Kashmir, neither the Kashmiris. First and foremost, that one thing I must quote, Kashmir belongs to us. Kashmiris, they are Indians. And whatsoever the country is, call it Pakistan, na Pakistan or China, whatsoever, they are just having the baseless claims and the illogical and most insensate things that Kashmir belongs to them. No, nowhere. You can take away the land that is considered as the POK, and that is also POK, that is Pakistan occupied Kashmir. It doesn't belongs to them. It can be COK as well, that is Chinese occupied Kashmir. It is once again occupied. But when it comes to the actual legitimacy, or when it comes to the actual heritage, historical context and everything, so it is India, that is Kashmir, or Kashmir, that is India, what we must understand here. But what's the news for us here? What's the event that we need to discuss here is about the mistrust or distrust, actually, that is basically the trust deficit that is between the Jammu and Kashmir police and the central government, along with the trust deficit between the people of Jammu and Kashmir, specifically Kashmiri Muslims, and the Jammu and Kashmir police, that is, right? So we talk about the whole story. As you can see here, Indian government doesn't trust Jammu and Kashmir police, neither do Kashmiri Muslims. And yes, here we go. In Policing and Violence in India, editors D. Mahelt and Jeannie Loknita explores police violence and the colonial interest that shaped modern law enforcement in the country. So it's a book, basically. The name of the book is, here we go, Policing and Violence in India. Okay, so what we are going to discuss, it is some excerpts from the book, okay, written by Athar Zia. Okay, the actual name being Policing and Violence in India, Colonial Legacy and Contemporary Realities, okay, which has been edited by, with permission, through the Tiger Books, okay, edited by Dina Heath and Jeannie Loknita. Okay, so guys, name of the book here that we are going to discuss is once again, Violence, okay, or sorry, Policing and Violence in India, a Colonial Legacy. It should be a question mark, right? So what's the problem? What's the problem with the Kashmiri people, specifically Kashmiri Muslim people? Okay, why are they having this trust deficit with their own state police? So here we go. So as we can see, what's the statement they have been often cited, okay? So it is not only the Indian government, however, which has long distrusted the Jammu and Kashmir police, so too have Kashmiri Muslims, for whom the JKP, that is Jammu and Kashmir police, they are not less than gaddars, or basically the traitors. Why so? Considering their role in counter-insurgency operations in Kashmir and in implementing divisive and anti-Muslim policies. So what the people of Kashmir, they have often claimed, or they have often accused to their state police itself, that while going ahead with the counter-insurgency operations, the Kashmiri police has also troubled a lot or end number of times to the local Kashmiri people, specifically Kashmiri Muslim people. This is what the narratives, or this is what the plight of the local Kashmiri Muslim people they have, right? That yes, Kashmiri police, need to go ahead and walk hand in hand with the Indian Army there and go ahead with the proper counter-insurgency operations. But due to those counter-insurgency operations, it has often happened that yes, collateral damage took place, because of which the local Kashmiri, specifically the Kashmiri Muslims, they had to suffer. Yes, now there would be questions that what happened to the Kashmiri Pandits? What happened to the other communities residing inside Kashmir other than Muslims? Were they not subject to same kind of atrocities by insurgents or maybe other communities residing inside the state of Kashmir, that is kind of a civil war? Yes, that too has happened. And we do not want to either remember it or recall it as it's a grief, it's a pain, it's a big black spot on the federal as well as the fraternal structure of the country. But here, what we are going to discuss is today with regard to the excerpts of the book, that is Policing in India, the policing and violence in India. Is it a imperial legacy or the colonial legacy? Are we still following? So the answer is yes, there are issues. And along with that, there is also a big no to such events as well, as these issues, they have been often originated or generated through a military doctrine itself that we call it as the collateral damage. So this is not something that should be justified. Collateral damage is something which you should never justify. But the fact is, collateral damage is also which is inevitable in many of the cases. And what is the plight of the Kashmiri Muslims is here, that is because of that so-called collateral damage, their lives, their properties, their growth, their future, it has been fabricated as well. Okay, along with, yes, the Kashmiri Pandits, the Kashmiri Muslims, they have been suffering as well. So here we go. What the further data tells us. This is troubling and, alarming and frightening altogether, all at once. They have, as a result, been targeted by Kashmiri militants who have killed approximately 1,700 police personnel since 1989. How is this data coming from? I just wish this data is false, right? I just wish this is a manipulated data or a type of a misprint or a mistype, something like that. But the book by Atharzia has claimed this data only, that from 1989 till 2020 something, okay, 1,700 police personnel, they have been killed. And many of them, in fact, majority of them, that is out of 1,700, what the book claims, nearly 800 to 900 of them, they were killed when they were off duty. That means they were basically targeted, right? So they were off duty, including nearly 508 personal security officers, those who were deployed in protecting pro-India civil society leaders and politicians. So pro-India movement that took place inside Kashmir, that has further claimed 508 personnel security officers. Means I have no words further, right? I wish this data is wrong, but point is, not just my wish works all the time, right? This data is absolutely correct. Okay. So 1,700 police personnel, 508 out of which they were the personal security officials of the politicians and the leaders going ahead with the national movement, the pro-India movement. Okay, they were the leaders, politicians, and so on. The further thing, okay, that is once again disturbing. Yet J&K police members are also enmeshed in the Kashmiri resistance movement through their kith and kin, that is their close ones. In 2022, for example, a member of the J&K police, whose son, who was an engineering graduate, who later on turned a militant, had previously been killed. Yes, and in counter-terrorism insurgency operations was himself murdered by the militants, right? So a police official's son, who was well graduated with the engineering course, he turned into a militant. He was killed, and so was the father, that is the policeman, was also killed. And then later on, in the very same year, it has happened that another policeman, in the, not same year, sorry, in 2017, another policeman was killed by the mob only, that is, by the local people only, on the grounds of spying during a religious celebration. This brings us to the discussion of how and what we're going to do in order to in order to just restore or store the peace in Kashmir, peace in the valley. As it has been well stated, I don't know by whom, but yes, the statement comes very fantastically. That is, though the Kashmir is considered as the paradise or the heaven on earth, but the problem is the lives of Kashmiris, whosoever they are, Kashmiri Pandits, Muslim, security officials, okay, defense personnel, whatsoever, their lives are not less than hell. Any of the time, they have to face, many of the time and any of the time, all of them, they have to face sometimes the military insurgency, the militant insurgency basically, okay, that claims lives and properties, because of which the defense machinery, they are compelled to just go ahead and block the internet connectivity, block the roads, impose Section 144, just imposing the curfew and so on, closing off the schools and colleges, they do happen, closing off the markets, they do happen often. And what we can do for this? Neither the government, neither the defense machinery is there wrong. They have to do it in order to protect the further lives from being, destructed. They have to do that. Ultimately, the problem is we will have to take a proper stand in the global forums, from United Nations to G20 to any other. And apart from that, we have to counterbalance the Pakistani insurgencies as well. We need to have a strong, proper, guided and covered border fences, electrified border fences, and yes, the very fresh drone terrorism, for which we have also inducted Dronam. Okay, and apart from that, the MK2A, that is directed energy weapon, in order to just eliminate or neutralize such type of UAVs, that is unmanned aerial vehicles. And yes, apart from that, we need more and more security personnel or the defense personnel to be deployed from BSF to Army inside, or the CRPF as well. Okay, that is inside the valley, so that such pathetic people from cross border, that is Pakistan or even China, they are not allowed to enter through legal or through any illegal means inside the state of Kashmir, and hence we will be able to have a state of normalcy inside the valley, right? So this is what the problem is. As you can see the data, the policemen, they are themselves killed on the grounds of spying by the mob only, and these are the mob. We don't know whether the people inside the mob was Indian or not. This is also big concern, right? Next, the JKP and the military humanism, the Jammu and Kashmir police and the military humanism, as what we can see here. Okay, so how then has the Jammu and Kashmir police sought to overcome the distrust with which its members are viewed by both the Indian state and Kashmiri population? How they have managed to establish the trust and just eliminating the deficit. Okay, so one key way in which it has tried, that is to juggle doing such a seemingly impossible task, is through playing a role in the Indian military's project of military humanism in Kashmir. Like military humanism, it has been termed by Atharzia as an oxymoronic thing. Oxymoronic, that is, it's a particular word used to refer or mention two other-sided words, two opposite-sided words in together. Like for example, what she has mentioned here is, that is, military humanism is itself a oxymoronic term. Okay, like simply speaking, how it can happen that military that needs to go ahead and perform such type of an activities which can't be considered as a normal thing, and you are taking the other one there, that is humanism, right? So the writer has framed here what? Oxymoronic. What is oxymoronic? That is referring to two words which are poles apart or absolutely opposite to each other in principle, right? So here we have, so for example, Indian military, for the balancing of the trust it has gone ahead with many of the operations inside the valley. Okay, for example, they have started Operation Sadbhavana, okay, because of which a good amount of trust was established between the Kashmiri youth, Kashmiri people, specifically Kashmiri Muslim youth and Kashmiri Muslim people, and the Indian Army. Through this Operation Sadbhavna, they had just gone ahead with the establishment of multiple sports that has been played between the army men as well as the local people, some type of seminars and types of the social gathering, specifically having the lunch and dinner together, that is having the meal together. Okay, so that is what is known as Operation Sadbhavna. It was launched by whom? It was launched by Indian military during the 1997 era. But it was not just the Indian military who has launched such sort of an operations to establish trust between themselves and the Kashmiri people. It is also the Jammu and Kashmir police who have established what? The CAP, that is Civic Action Program. Okay, Civic Action Program as in which they were following the guidelines or the protocols of the Operation Sadbhavna only, and through which they tried their best to represent to the Kashmiri people that we are same. We might be having uniform with us, and this uniform is just for your safety, your protection. It is not for something else, right? We are going ahead with the counterinsurgency operations, yes, and in that collateral damage happened, yes, and we are absolutely sorry for that. We are, very much apologetic for that as well, but it was simply unintentional. They haven't done it on purpose. So for just establishing the trust and eliminating that deficit thing and converting it into the surplus only, the Indian Army went ahead with the Operation Sadbhavna, and on the very same lines, Jammu and Kashmir police of the state police basically of India, okay, they have initiated what? The CAP, that is Civic Action Program, okay, just to create a bridge between the security forces and the local Kashmiri people. Okay, so this is what the things they have been going ahead, and the problem is still an unanswered question. So we have got the answer why there is a trust deficit between the Jammu and Kashmir police and the local youth as well as the other people, not just youth, the whole of the Kashmiri Muslim community, okay, along with the other communities as well. But a question that is still yet unanswered, basically two questions that are still yet unanswered, okay, so I must write those questions here as well. So question number one, okay, question number one, why there is a trust deficit? Why there is a trust deficit between the Jammu and Kashmir police and the union government? And then comes question number two. Is there really any deficit? Is there really any trust deficit? Or is it just the media's agenda or some other person's agenda? Okay, so the question is, second question that should be answered foremost, is there really any trust deficit? Okay, in case yes, then comes the question number one here. Why? So first and foremost, it is really a trust deficit or not? Answer yet unknown. And in case it is yes, then why? Answer once again yet unknown. Neither the author of the book Policing and Violence in India is able to answer it, neither any particular other literature or texts they have answered it, neither any particular reports have been there, nor from the government side, nor from any private entity or an individual side. But in case you have any opinion over this, you have any answer over this, is there really a trust deficit? In case yes, then why there is a trust deficit between the Jammu and Kashmir police and the union government. Okay, guys, so whatever your opinion is, I'm waiting to see that into the comment section. Okay, guys, so thank you so much for watching. That's from my side today in this session. Okay, and we'll be waiting for the comments, and we shall have a specific session based on your comments only with regard to this topic. Okay, guys, so thank you so much for watching. Please do not forget to subscribe to our StudyIQ English channel. See you soon, and please do hit the like video as well in case you like the session. Okay, guys, bye bye. Good day. Take care. Jai Hind.